Hi, hello. Welcome to my class on colligative properties, property number 4. Till now I have explained about 3 colligative properties. The first one is relative lowering of vapor pressure, and the second one I have explained is the elevation of boiling point, and third one I explained the important colligative property that is called as depression of freezing point. Now coming to this class, I am going to introduce the fourth important colligative property that is called osmotic pressure and its importance, and what is its background. That means how can we find osmotic pressure on the basis of the different experiments, and even what is the basic information about the osmosis also I will discuss. Then I will move ahead with the osmotic pressure concepts and its mathematical expression. Even Ostwald's isolation, Ostwald's dilution law also I will discuss in this one to determine the osmotic pressure's mathematical expression. Okay, let us move to the class, and we will definitely have a very good content in this lecture of osmotic pressure. Okay, I hope you will concentrate on these classes, and you can please share the classes videos to all your friends and make them subscribe my channel. Okay, let us start the class. In this class, first I would like to discuss about what is osmosis. What is osmosis? Before starting the osmotic pressure, I would like to start osmosis definition. Once the osmotic definition if you know, then you will come to know that what is the meaning of osmotic pressure. As many people used to talk about osmosis, reverse osmosis in the purification of water and water filter concepts and all. But in this osmosis and chemistry point of view, this is nothing but the movement of particles, solvent molecules or solvent particles from one region to another region. What is that? One region is the high concentration region to low concentration region of solvent molecules. So this movement of solvent molecules in the liquid state is called as osmosis. Like how we define the diffusion in the gaseous state of matter, that means how the scattering of gas molecule, that means how the movement of gas molecules from high pressure area to low pressure area takes place in a particular time interval. How long the gas molecule traveled, depend on that we discussed about the rate of diffusion. According to Graham's law, that entire concept is explained in gaseous state of matter. But in the liquid state of matter, we are now in this discussion, the same phenomena can be attributed to the liquid state of matter, in which the solvent molecules tends to move from high concentration region to low concentration region. So there we told that gas molecules will travel from high pressure region to low pressure region, and to travel such type of things, the gas molecules need not require any kind of barrier to cross. But in this present situation, what we are discussing about osmosis, once a solution is prepared, the liquid molecule, the solvent molecule and solute molecules both will get a kind of competition between their movements, and that movement is depends on the size of the solvent molecules, either solvent molecule or solute molecule. The size is most important. So these solvent molecules in this phenomena of osmosis are try to move through an important membrane in the liquid state, which is separated by both the liquids. That means one liquid if you consider it as a solvent, another liquid we will consider as solution. So in this case, what will happen is between the two liquids we will keep one a thin membrane. That membrane we will call it as SPM, semi permeable membrane. So such type of semi-permeable membrane have a characteristic property of allowing only solvent molecules and retarding the solute molecules in the experiment called as osmosis. And this experiment we will call it as osmosis, and it will take place until a kind of equilibrium is established between the two liquids. That time osmosis will get stopped. But how can we define the osmotic pressure? Anybody can ask, because osmotic pressure is the most important colligative property under our study, and this is entirely depending on the number of solute particles in the solution. That's what we will call it as colligative property. And that osmotic pressure is nothing but the pressure which we will apply over the liquid to stop the osmosis. The liquid solution, over that how much pressure you can employ, that pressure will make the phenomena of osmosis to get stopped. So that pressure we will call it as osmotic pressure. So this is the main theme of this osmosis and osmotic pressure, and their definitions and the content. So that content in the form of a class notes I will give you. Now let us move on to that informations. The first point I am going to discuss, that is osmosis. It is defined as the spontaneous flow. This is the spontaneous flow of the solvent solvent we are told solvent molecules towards the solution side, when both are separated by a semi-permeable membrane. You can also call it a shortcut SPM. This is said to be a semi-permeable membrane. That membrane can be artificial, or that may be a natural one, animal membranes or artificial membranes like precipitates in the chemical reactions. That we will discuss later on. Now, you understand what is the definition of osmosis. So the osmosis definition is the spontaneous flow of the solvent molecules towards the solution side when both are separated by semi-permeable membrane. For example, if you take a beaker containing water, so now I am giving you a small diagram information that in this diagram and this beaker I am observing some water molecules. Okay, first, then after what I want to do here is this water, in this water I am taking KMnO4. In this water I am taking KMnO4. You know KMnO4 is this type of color, KMnO4. Potassium permanganate I am taking in this one. And above what is there is water. Once the KMnO4 is added, KMnO4 is solute, and water is also present here in this beaker. That means this is a strong solution of KMnO4 beaker and carefully covers its surface with a layer of water. So layer of water I have taken above it, and below that KMnO4 is there. The purple KMnO4 molecules starts gradually diffusing into water until the two layers merge into one another. Then the beaker definitely will become a colored one. So now After some times, what I understand here is a uniform liquid is developed in this one. Okay, this is now I am calling as a solution. And above that SPM, semi permeable membrane I am keeping here, and still I want to give you clarity by increasing the length of this one, because above the liquid is there. I told that liquid is nothing but solvent. Actually it is water, I am calling technically as solvent to understand. And here this is the semi permeable membrane I am keeping here, that is nothing but SPM. So what will happen, the solvent starts moving into the solution. Once the solution is got prepared and the solution and solvent are separated by SPM, here what we are understanding is the phenomena is happening in this beaker, that is number 2, putting Raman 2, for the first one I am putting 1. Once the mixture is prepared, after some time this uniform mixture is called as solution, and solvent molecules, solution molecules, and now I am separating with SPM. Then I understand that this is nothing but osmosis of solvent into the solution happened. That means there are 2 layers of the solution. The water are separated by membrane, semi-permeable membrane, through which only water can pass through this SPM, semi-permeable membrane. The solvent will push through it into the solution, and it is now called as osmosis. Okay. Actually, osmosis can also be defined from this experiment is nothing but it's a flow of now we will come to that point, I will explain you. So you observe this experiment just now I have discussed. In this what I want to explain you is about osmosis, and this osmosis is happening in the second beaker, Roman number 2, where the solvent molecules are moving into the solution via semi-permeable membrane. And this we can simply call it as the flow of molecules from a solution of lower concentration region towards the solution of higher concentration region. Suppose anybody says that there are 2 solutions are given to us, and the 2 solutions are having different concentrations, and one they are calling as dilute solution, the other one they are calling as concentrated solution. So in such a discussion we can easily tell that one thing, that dilute solution containing more number of solvent molecules when compared to the solute molecules. So higher the concentration of the solvent is there in the dilute solution of solvent molecules than the solution with higher concentration. Solution with high concentration will have high concentration of low concentration of solvent molecules. Solution with low concentration is having a high concentration of solvent molecules. See how this is confusion, because in particular chemistry point of view I am telling about the concentration is nothing but number of solute molecules. In biology point of view, they may say that high concentration region to low concentration region, but in chemistry point of view, low concentration region to high concentration is both are same. But what is the difference between the biology definition and chemistry definition? Is both the same, but in biology they are going to tell about the osmosis in terms of the high concentration of solvent molecules. But in solution, in chemistry, solutions, high concentration solution, low concentration solutions are defined on the basis of solute molecules. That's why I am telling in terms of chemistry point of view, the solvent is flowing from low concentration region to high concentration region on the basis of the solute molecules concentration definitions. Okay. So, whatever the definition it may be, the main aim of the thing is nothing but these solvent molecules are trying to move into the solution which is having the high concentration. Okay, and this phenomena is happening only when they are separated by a specially designed semi-permeable membrane, that may be animal membrane or artificial membrane like copper ferrocyanide precipitates. Okay, now we will again see that definition, and after this we can understand what are the different kinds of distinguishments between the diffusion in the gaseous state and the osmosis in the liquid state. Okay, let us see that one. So, we can also define, so how we can define this osmosis now? That is nothing but the flow of the solvent molecules from a solution of lower concentration towards solution of higher concentration, when both are separated by a semi-permeable membrane, So, this we can call it as osmosis, the another kind of definition. So, osmosis can be defined as a spontaneous flow of the solvent molecules towards the solution side when both are separated by semi-permeable membrane. And a small experiment we saw by taking the potassium permanganate solution experiment, and after that we came to know that this can also be defined in this way, that is the flow of the solvent molecules from a solution of lower concentration towards the solution of higher concentration when both are separated by semi-permeable membrane. Now, we are going to discuss about what is exactly that mode of semi-permeable membrane, what kind of semi-permeable membrane it may be, the function of semi-permeable membrane and its examples. We will see what is semi-permeable membrane. What is semi-permeable membrane? Actually, this semi-permeable membrane is a thin layer. I have told it is a thin layer which permits only solvent molecules. That means it is one type of molecules. What is one type of molecules? Particularly in our discussion, we will call it as solvent molecules such as water. So, the function of the semi-permeable membrane is only to allow the solvent molecules, not the solute molecule. This is very clear. Now, We have various examples of semi-permeable membranes are there. In that semi-permeable membrane examples, I would like to give you example. One is lining of an egg shell. Lining of an egg shell. Internally it is there. Or you can say it is parchment paper. It is parchment paper, or it is fish bladder. Okay, or it is a cellophane paper, etc. These are actually naturally observed semi-permeable membranes, or also you can use copper ferrocyanide also as an artificial one. In the lab you can prepare copper ferrocyanide, Cu2 FeCN 6 times. This can be prepared by the chemical reaction between this iron cyanide and copper salts. So that will be noticed later on when we want that one as per our analysis. Okay, so these are the examples of semi permeable membrane. Now we are going to discuss about the few things related to the diffusion and the osmosis. Here what I mean to say here is diffusion. You all know diffusion. What is diffusion? It takes place directly. That means there is no semi-permeable membrane in the diffusion concepts. But in the case of osmosis, we have a semi-permeable membrane. That is one difference we can understand between the diffusion and this osmosis. Molecules moves from a region of higher concentration to a region of lower concentration. So in that case, what will happens in the gaseous state, in the diffusion case, molecules moves from high concentration region to low concentration region in the gaseous state. But in the diffusion, we told that molecules of solvent move from low concentration region to high concentration region. So here exclusively this concentration is as per our study in chemistry. And moving on to the other one, we are telling that both solute and solvent molecules can move freely in gaseous state, but that is not happening in the case of liquid state, and it involves the movement of solvent molecules only in the osmosis. So in the osmosis, what is happening? Solvent molecules only moving, but in the gaseous state, freely the solute molecules as well as the solvent molecules both can freely move in that case. But common in gases as well as liquids. In gases and liquids, we can say diffusion is a common phenomenon. But if you keep the semi-permeable membrane, then we can come to know that might be osmosis. So it is restricted to solutions only. Osmosis is not said to be applicable for all the different kinds of physical states. Only in the liquid state, in the solution states only, this osmosis can be studied, but diffusion can be studied both in the liquid state as well as in the gaseous state. And other one, what about the diffusion case is diffusion cannot be prevented by applying the external pressure. We got to know that is an information that diffusion cannot be prevented because for example, when you keep any kind of smelling substance or somebody smoking little distance from our place, then automatically because of the wind flow, what will happen is the gas also will come. We can't easily stop that one by using external pressure. But this kind of osmosis can be restricted by using external pressure. That means osmosis can be prevented. Osmosis can be prevented by employing or applying external pressure using experiments. So that we will see with a small experiment, a sugar solution experiment, and then after we will move ahead in these concepts. Okay. Now, an experiment on process of osmosis. Process of osmosis we will see. We will in this experiment we will call, there is a funnel is considered, that funnel we will call it as a Thizel funnel. Actually it is having a long leg for this one here, or we can call it as a neck, and the bottom this funnel is opened and this one is tightly fixed with a semi permeable membrane in this one. This is okay. Assume this is a semi permeable membrane. If you want, I will again neatly write it. Let us check it off. Okay. So in this way we have closed this bottom side, and inside that we have taken some solution. I am calling this solution is a sugar solution. Okay. Here the solution initially marked up to this one, this is initial level. Assume volume I am taking V naught, or I will take V I will take for easy understanding. Vi means volume, initial volume, level L1, and this funnel actually it is kept in a beaker containing water. Actually this is present in a beaker containing water. Okay. So here we have solvent is there, that is water is there. Okay. So this is the picture 1, and now how the change takes place once the osmosis started, and that means here we have separated that solvent and solution using SPM. Inside this we have observed there is a sugar solution is there. Sugar solution is there. Now we are going to see what is the entire change happening in the experiment once the osmosis started. The same kind of funnel we will be taking here, and this is observed after some time, I am telling, and whatever is there, this semi permeable membrane, that membrane allowed, this membrane allowed some solvent molecules to come into it and making the solution little diluted one, and after some time, after once the osmosis reached the, when the situation reached the equilibrium conditions, then I have noticed that is Vf, the level is Vf, this is the point. Okay. And I have taken the water, that means the water level little bit reduced, very slightly reduced, and some of the water molecules enter into the semi permeable membrane because of the osmosis, and this is water. Okay, this is water, and inside we have a sugar solution is there. So sugar solution, yeah, this is the sugar solution is there inside the funnel. Now you can observe here in this Roman number 2 second picture. First picture, actually this entire experiment we will call it as osmosis by Nullet. The scientist who explained this one, his name is Nullet, in 1748 has demonstrated this one. by extensive study of phenomena was conducted not earlier than the middle of 19th century, but the piece of parchment is tightly stretched, that means I am calling now SPM in the recent advanced studies. Earlier they called as parchment paper and fixed. This funnel they are calling as Thysell funnel. Thysell funnel, that means it is having one long leg is there, and the funnel is fitted with a concentrated solution of sugar and lowered into a beaker of water, that means inverted that funnel. After that, the level of the liquid gradually they observed rising in the stem of the Thysell funnel after some time, and further rising the solution will stop. After some time, the rise in the solution is also stopped. That means this phenomena they have noticed is called as osmosis. This experiment they called as osmosis because they have noticed Vf is greater than Vi, indicating that solvent entered into SPM into the solution. So this is what happened, that's why level increased for in the Thysell funnel. So this is very small experiment, I can say, that is for osmosis experiment. Now we will observe another information. Earlier what I have told, that is osmosis and its related informations. Okay. Hope you understand this simple experiment conducted by Nullit in the year 1748 by taking the parchment paper. Now for our advanced understanding, the present definition understanding, we are calling that parchment is nothing but SPM, semi permeable membrane, that is having a characteristic property of allowing only solvent molecules into it, okay, through it. This is what happened. Now we are going to understand another important definition in the study of osmosis before going to the osmotic pressure experiment, that is called as isotonic solutions. Actually, anybody asks that isotonic solution is what? What are isotonic solutions? We can't say one solution is isotonic solution. We have to say that there are two solutions are there, that solutions are having osmotic pressure values with us in the experiments, after experiments, and that osmotic pressures they have noticed they are same. That solutions we will call it as isotonic solutions. That means any solution is said to be isotonic solution with other solution, then the osmotic pressure of the solution should be same. And in this point of the discussion, osmotic pressure cannot be easily explained with the help of this previous experiments what I have shown to you, but vapor pressure exerted by the solutions can be studied, and different kinds of vapor pressures exerted by the different solutions, and the osmotic pressures also said to be different. So which solutions are having the same kind of osmotic pressure or vapor pressure exertion is there, that solutions we will call it as isotonic solutions. Okay, so this is one an important definition for examination point of view you need to prepare. Now we will go to the osmotic pressure experiment. So what are isotonic solutions? Isotonic solutions, the two solutions of different concentrations are separated by SPM. That means a solution A is there, a solution B is there, and both are separated by using SPM. Okay, And the solvent molecules, what will happens when the SPM is kept in between them? What will happens from the low concentration to high concentration? The solvent molecules moves. After that, a pair of those solutions, whatever we have taken, which are said to be having same osmotic pressure. Once that osmosis got stopped, the flow of solvent molecules into the semi-permeable membrane will be having same value. That means here and here, if you observe osmotic pressure, that means pressure P1, here pressure P2, P1 and P2 will become same when the flow of solvent stops. That time this pair of this liquid solutions A and B, we will call it as isotonic solutions. Isotonic solutions. We will see a problem on this one, isotonic solutions, to understand this isotonic solutions pressure concepts. Okay, we'll take a problem now. We'll take a problem, that is a 5% solution of cane sugar is isotonic with 0.877% solution of urea. The question is, calculate the molecular mass of urea if the molecular mass of cane sugar is 342. Dear students, I hope you understand what is the problem, what I have given the problem, right? In this, one thing we have to understand, that they are given already a 5% solution of cane sugar and it is isotonic with a 0.877% solution of urea, and the problem aim is to calculate the molar mass of urea if the molar mass of cane sugar is 342. Okay, this is 342, this is, and this percentage is nothing but, this is for urea percentage, this is the percentage of the cane sugar. Now what I would like to tell you here in this one is, I would like to consider urea terms, that means urea molecular weight I am considering is suppose I am considering is M2, and cane sugar is there, the cane sugar, its molecular weight I am considering is M1. Okay, then what will happen here in this juncture, when we have the molar concentration of the sugar? What is the molar concentration of sugar formula? That can be written as number of moles of sugar by volume. So that number of moles can be obtained by taking weight by its molar mass into V1 here. So in this, what is W1 I am taking here is nothing but mass of sugar, and M1 I am considering as molecular weight of sugar, and V is the volume of the solution in liters. Now what is the concentration of sugar? That is, the weight of sugar in the question given is 5, percentage is nothing but weight only, divided by molar mass of sugar is given is 342, and the volume volume of the solution they have given is 100 because the percentage means 100. Okay. So, upon the simplification whatever you get that you will write it out here, but let it be. Let us take it is equation 1. Now, similarly you can do one thing, similarly you can find the concentration for urea. You can write that is nothing but urea percentage already they are given 0.877. So, urea molar mass you do not know, assume M2, and the solution mass is solution volume is nothing but 100. That means the 100 is ml I am writing, but yeah, that ml I am writing 0.1. So, I converted that 100 ml into liters. So, now what will happen, this volume will be 0.1 only, 0.1 is 100 ml, 0.1 is liters, 0.1 liters. So, this is I am assuming this is the equation number 2. Now, we got to know that there is an information regarding this problem. In this problem we got an information. What is that information is the question they have already given, they are isotonic. When they are isotonic, both are isotonic with each other. What is the meaning of isotonic with each other? Both their concentrations are same. That means first equation and second equation, if you equate it, then you will get the molecular weight of urea. So, concentrations are same, that indicates sugar concentration. First you will write urea because you need that M2, concentration is equals to sugar concentration. What is urea? Urea value, concentration value we have, that is 0.877 divided by M2 into 0.1, that is equals to 5 by 342 into 0.1. So, anyway 0.1 will get cancelled here, and finally you will get M2 is equals to 342 into 0.877 divided by 5. Upon simplification I got 59.98, approximately it is 60, okay, grams per mole is the molecular weight of urea, molar mass of urea. So, this is what a simple problem on the isotonic solution I have introduced to you. Okay, hope you understand this problem. Now, let us move on to the last osmotic pressure. Osmotic pressure definition. I will give you osmotic pressure definition. Actually, this is nothing but whatever the external pressure is needed to stop the osmosis, that is called as osmotic pressure. The external pressure required to stop, I will give you, to stop osmosis, that is called as osmotic pressure. Simple, very simply, that means the flow of solvent molecules into the solution will be stopped, that is called as osmotic pressure. Okay, and actually according to some different kinds of laws of osmotic pressure, as per our gaseous laws also, you can say Want half law of Boyle's Want half law. The first law of this concept is called as osmotic pressure symbol is pi we will use here, and Boyle-Van 't Hoff law, I can say Boyle-Van 't Hoff law. As per the definition, this concentration is directly proportional to osmotic pressure, but it is inversely proportional to the volume. And when we take this is a equation, then it will become pi v is equals to constant according to that Boyle's law. This is the first equation. And second equation you can take here. The second equation you can take, that is from Charles law, Charles-Van 't Hoff law. Charles-Van 't Hoff law, and that is nothing but telling about the pressure is directly proportional to temperature in Kelvin. So here also we can write pi proportional to T, or pi by T is equals to constant. So that is second one. What about the third one? Is telling that third one, Van 't Hoff equation for dilute solutions here, which is given by combining the above two equations, that is nothing but that has become pi v is proportional to pi v is proportional to, or pi v is equals to a constant r into T. They have noticed a constant r into T, whereas this V, this is for 1 mole only, this is for 1 mole. For n moles it will become pi is equals to nRT by V, or you can say pi is equals to CRT. So the experiment formula is pi is equal to CRT, like PV is equal to nRT only. Okay. So the experiment according to Avogadro's also, this concept is said to be Avogadro's law of solutions, equimolar solutions of different solutes exert equal osmotic pressure under identical conditions. That is what the Avogadro's principle. So last we have applied Avogadro's law also in this one. Okay. Finally, here what is osmotic pressure expression? We have derived it is pi is equals to CRT. Okay. So here what you have understand in this expression is, I have just given you brief information about how this is comparable with our ideal gas equation PV is equals to nRT, where the concentration is number of moles of the solute present per 1 liter of solution. N by V is molarity concentration. That concentration I am taking as C in this experiment, this formula, that is pi is equal to CRT is the formula. The pressure as usual it is pascals in atmospheres, we can measure it, and bars also values we can see in the problems. Okay. Now let us see its osmotic pressure experiment formula I have given to you. That is how it is useful in determining the molar mass of solute mathematical expression. We will see that one. Okay. Now we will take this into the consideration. That is, that point is determination of molecular mass, determination of molecular mass of solute from osmotic pressure, from osmotic pressure. Okay, as you know that osmotic pressure of a non volatile solute containing a dilute solution can be given as pi is equals to CRT. I have given this is the mathematical expression to you. That means osmotic pressure of a non volatile solute, now we are determining, that is pi, and making its solution in a non electrolytic solvent. That means solute is present in a non electrolytic solvent. So experiment is very clear that solute is present in a non electrolytic solvent. After that we have prepared a solution. That is the meaning of it. In this one, a small amount of non volatile solute is dissolved in a suitable quantity of the solvent to prepare the dilute solution, and this osmotic pressure at a particular temperature is now determined by one of the known methods that we will discuss, experiments will discuss, but the formula is pi is equal to CRT. And in this, what is C? C is the concentration, where we can find the now volume, that solute information is C, that can be written as number of moles of solute by its molar mass. Number of moles is nothing but N by V. N by V, concentration is N by V into RT. I am taking number of moles of solute NB, that is equals to WB by MB. Previous class symbols only I am using here, and where what is the WB? WB is the weight of the solute divided by molecular weight of solute is MB into R into T divided by V. So pi is equals to WB RT by MB into V, and from this I can find what is MB. MB is equals to WB into R into T divided by pi into V. So in this experiment, in this formula, I am considering what is WB. WB is the weight of solute, and MB is the molar mass or molecular mass. Molecular mass has to be determined for the solute, and R value, you know, it's a gas constant in 0.0821 you can take liter atmosphere per degree, okay, per mole. Okay, so when the pressure is expressed in atmosphere, you can take this one. When the temperature is expressed in degrees, you can take this information. And pi is osmotic pressure. Pi is osmotic pressure in the equation. I have given it to you. Okay, so this is the equation useful for the determination of the molecular mass of a non-volatile solute. Now we will do a problem. We will take a problem on this one. Osmotic pressure problem. Solution containing solution containing 20 grams of sucrose, 20 grams of sucrose per liter and 1.63 grams of boric acid in 450 ml respectively. respectively, or isotonic. Find the molecular mass. Find the molecular mass of boric acid. So this is the question. We can understand here, one side we are telling that is boric acid is present. One solution is boric acid, one liquid is boric acid, another liquid is sucrose. Suppose you have noticed that boric acid grams value, how much? That is 1.63 is there, and it is present in 450 ml. Then using the concentrations, that means you can write this formula for boric acid. Okay, osmotic pressure is same for that, for the both the solutions. The concentration of boric acid, I can write it as as per the previous problem I have done, how I have given you the same way. That means, what is the mass of boric acid given? That is 1.63. I will take with the letters here. 1.63 grams. Weight by molecular weight of boric acid I am taking as M2, or simply M only. That means M, molecular weight is M, into 1000 by volume of the solution is 450 ml. Okay. Whereas for sucrose, what is the mass of sucrose here? 20 grams. That is molecular weight of sucrose is 342, and it is present in 1 liter. So 1000 by 1000 get cancelled, 1. Okay, like this. Then what is M? Required one for boric acid is boric acid, that is equals to that is equals to 1.63 into 1000 into 342 divided by 450 into 20. So let us see, upon simplification, how much came for this calculation. What is 1.63 into 1000 into 342 divided by 450 divided by 20. Exactly I got 61.94 atomic mass units. So that is the answer for the boric acid's molar mass. So we found the molar mass of boric acid in this problem. So let us see another problem. Next problem, that is calculate the osmotic pressure of 2% glucose solution at 0 degrees Celsius. Here only I will write it, that is at 0 degrees Celsius. Now the question is very clear. They are given 2% glucose solution. What is a 2% glucose? Glucose formula you know, C6H12O6. From the formula we can easily tell the molecular weight of glucose is 180. Okay, and a 2% meaning, what is the 2% meaning is 2 grams is the weight of glucose that is present in 100 ml of solution. Okay. Now using all this one, we can tell what is the concentration of this one is concentration C is equals to weight is nothing but 2 grams and molecular weight of glucose is 180 into 1000 by volume is 100. Then this simplification will give answer 1 by 9. We will keep it like that. Okay. Now let us see what is osmotic pressure formula. Osmotic pressure formula, that pi is equals to C into R into T. They have given the temperature value in the question. The temperature is 0 degrees Celsius. So I would like to convert that one to Kelvin is 273. And R value we know, that is 0.0821. Use that one. Later atmosphere per mole per Kelvin. Okay, that you will substitute. And C value you have 1 by 9 is there. C value 1 by 9 into 0.0821 into 273. So upon simplification, what will come? We will check it off. Upon simplification, we got 2.49 atmospheres. 2.49 is the osmotic pressure of this question. Okay. Now let us solve one more problem. Let us take down one more problem. Yeah, that is osmotic pressure of blood is 7.65 atmospheres at 310 Kelvin. An aqueous solution of glucose that will be isotonic with blood is dash weight by volume. We have options for this question. First option they are giving, it is 5.41%. Second option they are giving 3.54%. C option they are giving 4.53%. And the last one they are giving 53.4%. Now you carefully observe the question. Osmotic pressure of blood is 7.65 atmosphere at 310 Kelvin. An aqueous solution of glucose that will be isotonic with blood is how much? So what is the percentage you have to find? We all know that in the given question, pi V is equal to CRT for glucose and blood, both are same. That means osmotic pressure of glucose, which is equals to osmotic pressure of blood when they are said to be isotonic. Okay, that means pi V is equals to nRT formula. If you apply, glucose osmotic pressure is 7.65, the blood osmotic pressure is 7.65. Okay, I am taking first I am taking glucose values. Glucose value we don't know, weight we don't know, weight by its molar mass we know, that is 180 into pi by v, this is the concentration, and R value 0.0821 into temperature is 310 Kelvin, that is equals to blood osmotic pressure is 7.65 atmospheres into the volume we don't know. Okay, then what is the W by V? That means aqueous solution of glucose that will be isotonic with blood is, so blood value and glucose value, W by V, we are finding that value. Upon simplification they got 54.1, 5.41 only, that is 5.41 only we got, that is 5.41 percentage weight by volume. So first option is the right option for this question. This can also be solved in different ways, but this is another direct shortcut way only we have shown to you. Don't worry about that one. Osmotic pressure of blood is 7.65 atmospheres at 310 Kelvin they are given. So you can directly straight away you can take the formula pi V is equals to CRT, the formula for blood separately and glucose separately, and make them equal, and you will find the weight by volume. The answer is 5.41. Next question, I'll tell you the next question. What is the next question I am going to tell you is the relation between osmotic pressure, at 273 Kelvin when 10 grams glucose, that's pressure given as P1, comma 10 grams urea, pressure given in the bracket is P2, and 10 grams sucrose, the pressure given is P3, are dissolved in 250 ml of water is how much? In this juncture they are giving options. We will see the options. That is P1 greater than P2 greater than P3, first option. The second option they are giving is P3 is greater than P1 is greater than P2. Third option they are giving P2 is greater than P1 is greater than P3. Fourth option P2 is greater than P3 is greater than P1. Okay. Now we can check the question once again. The relation between the osmotic pressure of the three solutions, each are having 10 grams in 250 ml of water. We know that the formula, very carefully you have to observe the formula, osmotic pressure formula, pi is equals to CRT. If we expand it, number of moles N by V into R into T, or even if you see this one, the pressure is said to be inversely proportional to its molar mass. That is the meaning of it. Why? Because number of moles if you expand, then weight by molecular weight into R into T by V will come. So in this case, if you see this only this molecular weight and osmotic pressure relation, then you will come to know that osmotic pressure and molecular weight relation is inversely proportional. So if you take that glucose, urea, sucrose, first one is glucose, next one is urea, next one is sucrose. Glucose molecular weight is 180 and urea molecular weight is 60, sucrose molecular weight is 342. If you have these numbers with you very clearly, then osmotic pressure of glucose they are given is P1, okay. Osmotic pressure of urea they are given is P2, osmotic pressure of sucrose they are given is P3. So assume these are the symbols they are given for osmotic pressures. But what we can understand from the concept here is, what we can understand here is the relation that relation, see, which is having higher molar mass. Molar mass is higher for sucrose, so P3 is the least value. So P3 is least value. Then we have glucose, so P1 is the next value, and least value of the molecular weight is highest value of the pressure, that is P2. So now what I am writing here is urea osmotic pressure is P2 is greater than, and glucose osmotic pressure P1 which is greater than P3. If you carefully observe this relation, in which of the options it is there, that is there in the third option, C option, that is the right answer for this question. Okay, and last but not finally, I am going to write one more question in this juncture, that is FeCl3 on reaction with K4FeCN6 in aqueous solution, gives blue color, and these are actually separated by a semi-permeable membrane AB. Semi-permeable membrane is symbol is AB. Due to osmosis, osmosis is happening. There is what will happens? That means there is what will happens? We will see. They are giving a picture also, diagram also. We will see the diagram first. Here they are given a beaker. Here in this, they are given a solution, and they have separated that one using AB. This is AB, and one side X is there, side Y is there, and they are telling it is 0.1 molarity K4FeCN6. The other side they are giving, that is 0.01 molarity ferric chloride FeCl3. So this is the aqueous solution. These are solutions, and they are separated by SPM. So this is nothing but SPM only, semi-permeable membrane. In this picture, they are giving options. how they are giving options A. What is option A they are giving is blue color formation forms inside X, and option B they are giving blue color formation or forms or formation inside Y, and another option they are giving a blue color formation in both sides. Blue color forms in both sides, and D option they are giving no blue color formation. No blue color formation. You observe carefully here, due to osmosis what will happens? Concentration of K4FeCN6 is higher value, and concentration of ferric chloride is lower value. So ferric chloride containing solvent molecules more. Then that means water from Y side to migrate towards X side. So that will happen. Solute is FeCl3, which is not actually moving in the Y side into the X side. So what will happen? Only water moves, and means H2O only moves into this one, but ferric chloride is not moving. When the ferric chloride is not moving into the Y side to X side, then there won't be any kind of blue color formation takes place. That means no blue color formation takes place is the answer for this one. We may have a lot of confusions, but you have to understand what is the osmotic pressure. Osmotic pressure is nothing but the movement of solvent molecules, not the solute molecules. Why? Because SPM is having a tendency of only allowing the solvent molecules, right? So let us understand. So dear students, I have given you very interesting questions regarding the osmotic pressure. Some small problems also I have given you, and if you want many problems like this and tough calculations, definitely I will help you via WhatsApp or other media you have. And I hope you understand this session. I have given you detailed information about osmosis, isotonic solutions, osmotic pressure and isotonic solutions problems, and demonstration of osmosis experiment, everything. And in the coming sessions I will take the experiment determination of colligative properties class. Until, have a nice day, and prepare the questions and write the questions in your notes, and again check the same model questions in different books they are available in the market. Thank you very much.